Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our LogRhythm customers from around the world. I'm Cindy Zoe. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at LogRhythm, and I want to welcome you today to our very special customer preview event. As everyone has heard, we have been working on a brand new cloud native platform, and we can't wait to share it with you exclusively today. With me, we have our product management team. I also have our chief architect of our new cloud native platform, which we will unveil the name very soon, and then also our CEO, Chris O'Malley. So without further ado, Mr. Myth Customer, let's get the show on the road. So first is I want to look for your help and support in that we do have many statements that we're going to be making during this presentation that is about our future operations and product development, capabilities, and availability dates. This information really is substantial uncertainties and subject to change at any time. So we wanted to make sure that you were aware of that today we are going to not only be talking to you about roadmap, but also we're going to give you a little demo about the new platform too, and really look for your feedback, because that's what really matters to us and how we build this to be the modern security operations platform that you can utilize to support your security posture every day. Also, this is a confidential event. It is exclusive to you, the customer only. And please note that some of the product names, we're going to be very open and we're going to share that with you today, but that information is not public yet. So we would really appreciate your help and support and not posting or sharing the name, the information that you learned today on social media or any other public platform. And we really appreciate your assistance because we do want to make sure that when we are ready to go public with the launch, that we are maximizing the news. So thank you in advance for that. So, customers, we are very proud to unveil to you and introduce today the new name of our platform, which is the LogRhythm Axon Security Operations Platform. And I want to spend a moment here to give you a little bit of background on this name, Axon. So an axon actually is a portion of a neuron, and this is a picture, and all credit goes to Wikipedia for this particular definition. And if you think about a neuron cell in our brain, and you'll see here this middle portion is an axon. So it is a portion of a neuron that carries the nerve impulses away from the cell body. And a neuron typically has one axon that connects it to other neurons or muscles or gland cells. So this is really important to us because when we did our rebrand and we asked you, the customer, on what was some of the benefit that LogRhythm provides to you, you indicated that you appreciate it and love the connection that we have with you as a customer. We also wanted to convey that this is an intelligent platform. If you remember, LogRhythm has a history of calling our platform the security intelligence platform. So it conveys connection, it conveys intelligence, and then also more importantly, it is all about being essential. If a neuron is an essential function of the brain and the human body, then the Axon platform is going to be essential to your security program and organizational security. And so with that, without further ado, let me hand it over to the product team so that we can start digging into the specifics of the platform. So first, let me introduce Vaughn Adams. Vaughn Adams is a director of product management, and Vaughn actually used to be a customer. He came and joined LogRhythm from a customer organization, and so he really deeply understands the challenges that you face every day. Vaughn, take it away.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, this is exciting to be both a customer, work with a number of customers to talk about our new security operations platform. When we think about this, it's more than just a single product. It's the start of many security operations products on our new multi-tenant platform. It just so happens that SIEM will be our first product on this new platform. We recognize that small teams are asked to secure a wider set of complex environment security tools that go from on-prem, cloud, SaaS, with not enough people. The more solutions customers need to manage, the harder it is for our customers to have success. And we really can't meet a set of evolving security needs with a complex set of security tools. A consolidated platform is needed for customers to have a chance of success being able to secure their environments. This platform is also important to us at LogRhythm. It's important that we architect and build it right. It helps LogRhythm to more quickly adapt to evolving customer needs and challenges. And it's not just about the technology, it's about better ways of building, delivering, and maintaining support. And as mentioned, it's multi-tenant too. This offers some advantages, particularly at scale. So this is a journey for us, and this is a build up to a SaaS SIEM product, Axon SaaS SIEM. Where we are today, we are at really a critical point with our development on the platform. The foundational pieces are in place that allow us to collect data, present, and perform some analytics. Matt from product management is going to demo this functionality in a few minutes, and this will include our new approach that we have to collecting and onboarding logs that reduces administration. Feedback is really important to us, and particularly at this critical point where the customer feedback that we're after is going to enable us to go faster, less rework, and earlier validation of what we're bringing can be used to solve a wider set of security problems. Powering this is the architecture that runs the multi-tenant architecture, the CI/CD pipeline, automated test, that allows us to incorporate your feedback into the platform as we rapidly build up into a full functioning SIEM. Sean, our principal architect and a key person involved at the start of this, will walk us through some of the driving ideas behind the architecture. Sean?
Hi there. Yeah, so basically, we've announced that this is a cloud native architecture, and I'd like to talk about a little bit about what that means. Cloud native, a lot of people think means cloud hosted, and it's not necessarily that. Cloud native can be cloud hosted, but it really means that it's a set of technologies that allow us to build and run scalable applications in dynamic environments, which include public, private, and hybrid clouds. We can use container service meshes, microservices, and such to deliver value in a dynamic way. They allow us to build systems that scale, are resilient, and manageable and observable. Also, in our approach to architecture, we wanted to be able to move some functionality such as collection into the cloud environment. In case you are desiring a SaaS cloud solution, you can collect from cloud data sources as well directly without needing an on-premise or agent in your system. We're also cloud agnostic. We want to be able to deliver our value to you wherever your software is hosted. We can leverage Google or Microsoft Cloud as well as Amazon. We'll be hosting in AWS initially. We're able to be portable across clouds thanks to our portable runtime abstraction layer, which is based on Kubernetes. And what's nice about that as well is we're able to bring those cloud native principles to your on-premises deployments. So we won't be abandoning you if you're not able to move to the cloud yet. We enable this by choosing technologies that don't require the cloud, but they sit well in the cloud and on premises equally well. We have an open architecture on Axon. We leverage open source technologies that enables us to scale out horizontally without being concerned about licensing. It allows us to focus on providing targeted use cases instead of implementing infrastructure functionality. An example of this is that for our streaming analytics, we're using Apache Flink, and it enables pattern-based detection over large time windows and allows us to scale horizontally. In our implementations, we're utilizing best-of-breed open standards and specifications, allowing us to tap the expertise of individual engineers in the marketplace. And key here is that we're an open API, and we're API first. And essentially everything that we can do on the LogRhythm Axon platform is available to our customers and partners to access all that functionality via API calls. We support both REST and gRPC. Some of our concerns in the past have been how difficult it is to scale. Well, given our cloud native principles, we're able to scale. And I kind of throw out here the definition of what scalability means to make sure we're all on the same page. A system is architected to be scalable, which means that you can throw additional resources to it and it is able to process that much more information utilizing that new resource that you provided. Performance can be tuned, but scalability cannot. And so it's been architected to be scalable. Same thing with fault tolerance. We utilize self-healing technology so that when a portion of Axon fails, it can continue to operate uninterrupted. So it heals itself and restarts the components that may have failed. Opinionated microservice architecture allows us to iterate quickly and deliver new capabilities without having constraints of a monolithic deployment. They also allow us to scale. And our system is observable. Supporting for a microservice architecture is difficult, and being able to see what the system is doing for both us and you as well if you're hosting it is very important. And at the core of our system, we've built in observability through all the microservices. And I believe I would like to hand it over now to Matt Willems, our Director of Product. He's going to give you a demo of Axon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sean and Vaughn and Cindy for the introduction. While I get the screen share opened up here, I did want to say we have Q&A available through the chat. So if you have questions, feel free to drop those in as we go. We'll try to answer things during the demo and throughout the rest of the presentation. But hopefully my screen is visible now. I first want to say I am so excited. I'm so honored to be with you today to present the first version of this new platform. As we've said already, this is a really important moment for LogRhythm. I'm so glad that you're here with us to go along on this journey. So the first thing you'll notice is we have a new look and feel. So part of modernizing the platform through the architecture, through the development process, also allows us to bring in new look and feel, new UX patterns, new UI development patterns that really accelerate the way we're able to deliver on our UI. A really quick tour of the application. We've held on to a lot of things from the LogRhythm 7 platform that we got good feedback on, that we know customers are fans of today. So things like having alternate themes available. We have day mode. Sometimes that's useful for presentations, for screen shares, things like that. I do tend to leave it in night mode. You've got the contrast. You have colors that really pop. The rest of the application, we've got things like a dedicated search page. So a tabbed search interface where all of your searches can stay persisted, reporting directly through the web front end, so I can get back to reports that have run recently, as well as an administration panel for users who have access to administration. But a real quick tour of the dashboard. We know the dashboard is really important. It's a place for users to get up to speed with what's been happening in the platform recently. And it's another spot where we got a lot of really good feedback from the LogRhythm 7 web console. Having the widget-based dashboard where it's really easy to resize things, move things around, add in custom visualizations to really tailor the view to your specific use case. So we tried to take what works well in LogRhythm 7 and really make it even better in this new platform. So doing things like displaying hierarchical data in some new visualizations, like a sunburst chart over simply a donut chart. Things that I can drill into to get more information. In this case, things like the relationship between an IP address and host names. Also trying to improve the same kind of thing in bar charts. So now I have a bar chart where I can add a submetric, pick an additional field, to do the second level of aggregation on, and then we'll see that visualization update. And now I can really quickly see, again, a relationship between the host names and the IP addresses that's present in that data. So even better ways to get rapid value out of the the data that's present in the system. There are also some smaller things, no less powerful, but maybe a little more subtle. Things like you don't have to reconfigure widgets in order to be able to display more or less data. We can have widgets that scale dynamically and present more or less data just based on the amount of space that's available. So we've made the dashboard even more powerful in this version of LogRhythm, in the Axon SIEM. Another of those fundamental use cases for a platform like this really is search. And so when we went out to the customer base, when we've been talking to partners and industry analysts, we really talked about what does it mean to have a powerful search interface. And our power users were really in favor of having search available from every screen in the application and doing some things that make search even more accessible. So things like the ability to open the search interface with a hotkey and continue with that keyboard-driven search workflow. So the first thing you'll notice, in our research, we found that users tend to run the same searches or similar searches repeatedly. So we've made it really easy to get back to the list of recent searches, and I can pick any one of these to either rerun or modify that search to suit the use case that I have right now. But one of the ways we've improved this over LogRhythm 7 is the ability to filter this list. So if I start typing things like, I start typing out LogRhythm, you'll see that list gets filtered down to only recent searches that contain that term. However, one of the things you'll notice in here is that I always have a full text search available. If I pick this option at the bottom, then we've got this raw message contains LogRhythm. I can always run that full text search.
Hi, Matt, it's Cindy. If you wouldn't mind, we do have an audience member asking if you can maybe increase the font of your screen, maybe increase the zoom in so they can see a little better.
I will certainly try. It is going to move a few things around, but we'll give it a shot. Is that better? Okay. All right. We'll roll with this. We'll make it work. So the other thing we've done in the search interface is not just showing the recent searches and the ability to filter that list, but I can also use this to actually construct searches. I can use it to suggest terms in the search. So this icon indicates I'm actually suggesting metadata fields. So if I were to select one of these from the list and add a space to indicate that I'm continuing to build out the search, we're now suggesting operators that I can use. So I can use this workflow to, again, really quickly build out a search, not just run a recent search. So if I fill this in with this particular metadata value or metadata field, unattributed host IP contains anything, basically running a not null search and any log where that field happens to be populated. And here we see the search results page. One of the things you'll probably notice is the search performance is dramatically improved. That search only took a couple of seconds. It takes me straight to the search search results page where I can start digging into this data. We first present the results grid, but another spot where we got good feedback on LogRhythm 7 is having this dual interface between the aggregate visualizations in a widget form, as well as the grid for being able to work with kind of the raw results in a tabular form. So you can see the same kind of interface. I've got the same visualizations available. I can do the stacked bar charts again, the sunburst charts. I've got the log grid right here. And so one of the related workflows that we often get questions about is reporting. It's again a fundamental capability of a platform like this. And so when we were reimagining the platform, we kind of stepped back and said, well, what are the use cases for reporting? What are we trying to accomplish with reporting? And in general, the feedback we got is really to get data outside of the platform to a user who may not have SIEM access or get data outside of the platform for archive, for things like that. But the tools for defining a report, for selecting what data should appear on the report, how it should be formatted, are actually right here. They're on the screen right now. I can select data using this search query. I can determine how it gets visualized using this layout builder. And that means the reporting interface is actually right here. All I have to do is choose to export that PDF as kind of an ad hoc report if I just need to run it as a one-off, or I can set up a schedule, give it a title, choose whether I want the raw grid results, the aggregate visualizations, or both, set the schedule and recipients, and then that's the report definition workflow. So really trying to take advantage of the tool set that we have across the entire platform lets us develop more quickly, lets users get up to speed more quickly, and gain experience with the platform, become effective that much more quickly. So from here, some of the questions that we often get are things about how do we actually, before we move into administration, one of the other things that I want to highlight is actually in the data that's getting processed. Some of you may notice the additional metadata fields that show up in the search results, this unattributed concept. What we mean by that is this is metadata that was extracted from a log without a processing policy at all. There was no policy in place to extract these. Here's one with a log source name, so there was a policy in place here. This one was unidentified, but we still were able to extract an IP address. We're doing that through pattern matching rather than a policy-driven metadata parsing or mapping. So we were able to pull this particular IP address out of the log just using the format of the IP address and pattern recognition. And we can do that with a number of different types of metadata. So if I filter this column picker down to unattributed, you can see we can use that same concept for extracting things like CVEs, MAC addresses, hashes, IP addresses, email addresses. A lot of data that honestly is really powerful for building aggregations, for populating search, for streaming analytics, and things like threat intelligence matching. The other thing you might notice there is the LogRhythm schema is dramatically expanded from what we see in LogRhythm 7. What that really means is we're treating that metadata that's being extracted with that much more care. We're putting it into a field that is meaningful, making it easier to really get value out of that metadata. Some of you may also notice that we also have multiple IP addresses in this field, and that is intentional. The schema is no longer single value. You can actually have arrays contained in metadata fields, and these are truly distinct values. It's not a concatenated string or anything like that. So if I were to run an equals search, it will actually return this result. But that then kind of leads to the question, we've talked about the unattributed metadata. We've talked about the parsing and the processing policies. What does it look like to actually get data into the platform? So let's take a look there real quick. So the first thing you'll notice is administration is built into the web front end. We've got it available right here. Makes the workflow that much easier for the administrative user. And let's go take a look at the collector. So this is how data gets into the platform. And this is a new concept in the Axon SIEM. What a collector means is it's really an instance of collecting from a third-party application. So if I were to pick maybe this demo graph API collector, what this is saying is I have an instance. I have connection information as well as credentials for connecting to an instance of the graph API. And it'll tell me things like, what endpoints I can actually collect from. That means I can add log sources to this collector with just a couple of clicks. Also future-proofs it for automatic log source onboarding in the future. You can see some of the different log sources that are actually supported by this particular collector in this case. The next step in that pipeline really gets into the message processing, and another spot where we've made some major improvements in the workflow over LogRhythm 7. So we heard that this is a real area of need for LogRhythm customers, and it's an area where LogRhythm saw an opportunity to really be market leaders in how it works when you're onboarding data. So if I take a look at a message processing policy, you can see this is for Windows security. I'm going to look at the event ID 4776, and we'll go ahead and edit that policy. Let's give it some sample data. So this is just a Windows event log. And we'll see that XML event log gets parsed out. We can see all the metadata is now being mapped. We're seeing the keys and values being presented here in that way. We've got identification rules for identifying this particular log from a different type of log. But then you'll see this normalization rules concept. So if I need to add some metadata that maybe wasn't being mapped out of this log, all it takes is finding something like this severity field I can add that to my normalization rules. That shows up right here at the bottom. And then if I start typing in severity, I can say, well, that's the vendor severity. That's what Microsoft populated in there. I can look for some additional data like the URL that was contained in this log. And once again, it's just a matter of adding a normalization rule for that particular field. And type in something like, we'll say this is the complete URL. And maybe we'll do one more here. I see the protocol that was part of that URL. You can see it's actually breaking down that URL even further here. I'll add another normalization rule, and let's say this is the URL protocol. So now that I've enhanced, I've augmented this this particular normalization rule, we can just say save and close. And what you'll notice when we get back to the the policy screen is now I have a draft of that 4776 policy. So this is there to really illustrate that we're treating content management in a different way, making it easier to iterate on existing content, but not just immediately throwing it in production. You get an opportunity to have this draft, test things out, make sure it's really working like we need it to before it gets rolled actually into production. The other thing worth highlighting, Vaughn mentioned it at the very beginning when we were kind of touring the functionality, is streaming analytics rules that we have present. You can kind of think of this as the next generation of AI engine, and having the ability to enable and disable those rules, tune those rules, see the logic through the web front end, and eventually work with these rules the same way that you do search and dashboard and reporting. Having the single filter object, this looks exactly like a search string because that's what it is. That means that I can continue to convert content between different types. I can take a search and build an analytics rule out of it. I can take that analytics rule, I can execute it like a search. So making it that much easier to author content. Really, finally, the last thing that I wanted to say is we are starting up our invitation-only early access right now. If this is something that you're interested in participating in, we should have a survey question that's going out, a poll question that's going out through Bright Talk. Please respond in there. And really, this is our way of asking you for your help. This is an opportunity for you, our customers, to really directly influence the future of this platform by building an even closer partnership with us. And whether or not you choose to participate in early access, we do really, really appreciate your engagement, your excitement on this project, and your honest feedback in how we're doing here. So with that, for some closing comments, I'll hand things over to our CEO, Chris O'Malley.
Matt, thank you very much. First, I want to say thank you to all our customers out there. Obviously, LogRhythm's had a long and successful history in terms of working with customers to build what was an incredibly successful on-premise product. We're taking this next step into the cloud. I've had the pleasure in the first 5 weeks on the job to talk to many customers, many long-term customers. And as you know, both Vaughn, Sean, and Matt have said, all of them talk about the collaboration between LogRhythm and themselves in helping to build what has been a great product. And they talk about the need for us going back to those roots and working together in ways that you're supplying us fast feedback and iterating to create an awesome product. They're also, pushing me that, we are customers that are facing incredible security threats. And they're beautifully and wonderfully dissatisfied and trying to push us and inspire us to invent quickly in creating a new age product. So as Matt said, we really want your help. The early access program gives you an opportunity to see the platform that we've created, give us feedback so that we get this platform right, start to build out the capabilities that go on top of this platform so that, again, we create a next chapter for the company in ways that's going to support your needs and requirements in the future. So again, thank you for being a customer of ours. We look forward to being a supporter and helper and a collaborator with you in the future. We're going to be in a mode, obviously, of changing and transforming as time goes on here. One of the things that I want to get in the habit of is talking to you more and communicating more. So you'll probably see us every 90 days at least, getting on a similar venue and talking to you about where we are with Axon, where we are overall as a company, and what we're trying to do to step our efforts to innovate on your behalf. We know you're stressed. We know that the issues and challenges that you're facing are rising by the day. and we have to equal that in terms of our support of you all. So again, thank you for being a customer. We hope that you participate in the early access program and be part of remaking LogRhythm into a great company in the future. So thank you very much.
Chris, thank you so much. And team, I know we have several questions from the audience, and let's take a few of those here. Angela, would you like to go through some of the questions that we can have the team answer?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you all for sending in such great questions. This might be something best for Vaughn or Matt to answer, but there are several questions that have come through about the migration plan specifically. Can either of you comment on that?
Sure, I'll take that one. So migration, there's a couple components to migration. One is the technology aspect of migrating the SIEM from one platform to the other. There's also another component of that, which is training and support. So we're looking at it holistically. On the technology side, what we've done already is the ability to send data to both our existing platform, LogRhythm 7, as well as the new Axon platform simultaneously. And that's one aspect of it that will help customers as they transition. It won't necessarily need to be a quick one-day thing. It could be a slower transition into the newer platform. As we're building up the components of the platform and as we're completing things like analytics, as part of that, we need to take a look at what it means to take the existing AIE rules, for instance, and being able to get those into the platform, whether that's a migration or an extract, a transform, and a load. Some of that we still need to work out. And part of that is the early access program, getting our existing customers onto the new platform will help inform where we have gaps in our game plan and that where we need to solidify.
Thank you, Vaughn. We also got several questions related to how Axon will be configured. Is there any additional information you can share on that?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, the intent is absolutely that the configuration and administration of the platform is all through that web front end. There certainly can be some instances where you need something like a bootstrap config for getting something connected if it's in a different site and it hasn't yet made a connection to the kind of management tier of the platform. So there can be those types of interfaces that might get used once, but then the intent, like I said, is that it's all centralized configuration through that web front end from there. I don't know if there's anything else specific on kind of configuration and administration, but happy to follow up on any of those if there are specific questions.
Yeah, I think that's great. And we got a ton of really good questions and really specific things that people want answers to. So I think just for the sake of time, we can definitely provide follow-up to anyone who's joined the talk live, and we can answer a lot of these questions in a follow-up email to make sure everyone has information they need. And we got a really great response in the poll map for your early access program. So we'll make sure that anyone who is interested in joining that gets more information as well. And I'll open it up to the rest of the presenters if there's anything else you want to say to our customers. But otherwise, I just want to say thank you to everyone for hopping on this morning and wherever you are.
Yeah, seconded. I'll certainly say appreciate your time this morning. Appreciate all the excitement over kind of this new time, new era for LogRhythm. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We're very honored, and thank you for joining us today. And as Angela mentioned, we will follow up with responses to your questions. And for those of you that clicked yes on you want more information in early access, that will be coming your way very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.